When values that resonate with humanity are personified by a legacy of generations and steeped in Indian traditions and wisdom, better futures are created.
Started in 1906 by my grandfather, but he was very young when he died. So my father took over the reign of the Hamdard. We never looked back after that. We've been carrying on this for more than 100 years now, and we've never compromised on quality. Quality is very important to us.
So you started out in 1906 as a small establishment, and it's today grown into multiple factories, research units, educational institutions, hospitals, and a few others. And I think the brand is also very well known. What is a lesser known fact though is the whole uniqueness of the business model, which is the business for philanthropy. Tell us a bit more about the principles of the unique model.
So Hamdard literally means sharing of pain, and that's what we have been able to inculcate into our working as well as the board. The board of Hamdard is a board of trustees, and the sole purpose of the board is to grow the business so that we can fund our philanthropic activities, which is building onto these institutions and funding these institutions.
%85% of our profit goes to charity, building hospitals, universities, aid to the poor, needy. There's a Hamdard National Foundation to carry out this charitable work. All the profit goes into Hamdard National Foundation, and from there the charitable work continues.
If you look at maybe the last 2 years, especially FY22 and FY23, what was the top recall, from a transformation standpoint? What you think have been the biggest takeaways in the last 2 or 3 years?
It's been a journey which was not even thought in the board. We had our eyes fixed on particular goals, and we were working towards it. Onboarding a consultant, Deloitte, was very good experience where all the team members came together and owned up the responsibility of the target.
It was collective force driving the organization.
Correct, that's right. And that's where I knew a couple of quarters back that we are going to achieve that target. And it was a huge target. It was doubling the target, doubling the turnover that we had 1 year back. And it was not expected, but I knew that we would be.
I think in terms of expanding your distribution, retail footprint, growing some of the pockets where we were relatively weaker, could you share with us how the transformation has been additive on the whole distribution and reach?
From portfolio of few products, the board's aim was to grow into more, to bring out new products, more products. We've doubled our distribution in terms of number of stockists. We've doubled our feet on the street, and that's how we have been able to grow the business as well. It's a very, very pinpointed, targeted approach where we have put in the right resources at the right time, at the right place, and that has paid dividends for our growth.
Wonderful. So Hamdard is a household name. It's an organization which is not a startup. It's been there for years now. So a company that has navigated its way for 100 plus years, what was the thinking at a board level to get a consultant to help you transform the business?
Hamdard has always been an iconic brand, but the onset of COVID was something which we never expected, and that took a toll on the business as well. And that's when the board sat and decided that it was the right time to bring in a consultant, so that it's a 115-year-old organization, it's a big ship, it would be difficult to maneuver, but our experience was completely different. With onboarding of Deloitte, we saw that we were very nimble. We adapted to the businesses which was expected out of growing company.
Also the whole aspect on distribution and growth.
Correct. So we saw 100% increase in top line. We doubled our distribution network. We doubled our feet on the street, and that was a very targeted approach where resources were needed, we had kept them, then that's what increased the growth. Yeah.
If you look at the last year and a half, you have changed your identity from not just a Sharbat Rooh Afza to also a spices brand, which is Khalis, and a few other brands. You have a very strong hold in honey. How are you pivoting from a beverage to a food company now?
So again, onset of COVID, and that's what the learning was, that the people did not have too many cold beverages at that time, right. And that's what kept us thinking. And that's when we thought to diversify our portfolio from a beverage organization into foods. And that helped us in achieving those numbers, the growth. So honey was one, and then the recent launch into edible oil category as well as the spices. Khalis is the brand name of the spices, and that's very close to us now. And we are very bullish on spices as well as the edible oil.
Well, I think it was a very focused effort that we had to put in, because you cannot enter categories like this without having your backend in place. So we had a huge infrastructure project, and that was called Project Vistar, which we worked very closely with our partners. And that meant expanding our network inside cities, increasing distribution inside core cities, also looking at the hinterland. So we had to expand in the hinterland. We had to train our field force to actually go into these new categories. So there was a lot of intensive training on how the salesman has to actually behave in a shop, what are the priorities he has to do. And eventually, I think the parameters slowly started getting put in place. It was a long journey. And we also have a complete backward integration. We source our own raw materials from our farms, which gives a complete traceability to the product. Our state-of-the-art factory in Manesar churns out the best quality product with cryogenic grinders. Well, I'm a firm believer of team working, and I think when Deloitte came in as a partner to work with us on new product development as well as infrastructure development, I think it took a little while to set things rolling. But I think once the ball got into the field, it's been brilliant. The sales team is completely aligned to projects like Vistar, and the response that we've received from sales team is tremendous. Also, I think the internal new product development team, the marketing teams have also seen a lot of merit in working with Deloitte. So I think this partnership has been absolutely A1.
I just wanted to get your views on another very important aspect, which is I often see family business balance entrepreneurship and governance. How important is governance for growth of a family-run business? What's been your experience?
Yeah, it's very important. With, of course, Deloitte's help, we have been able to put up a governance system at the board level, and also at the leadership level. The organograms have been in place, all reporting structures have been in place. And even at the board level, every board member gets their role and particular sector to work in, and that's how we grow. And that has been consistently paying dividends to us in terms of growth in the organization as well as growth in our philanthropy.
And also maybe clarity across the organization.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. It has been. Yes.
Okay, Hamid, thank you very much for your time. It was lovely meeting you this morning. Thanks for all the insights, and you have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you, Sanjay.